pamozi mtima umo. Tiende 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 pamozi mtima umo.
Welcome back to our second session of MTN Teleschool, where we are looking at Mathematics Paper 2, the Grade 9 2019 final examination for internal candidates. We were at question number 4B. Now we'll go to question 4C. Question number 4C. Question number 4C reads, given that S is equal to A plus R over 1 minus R, make R the subject of the formula. This is very simple and straightforward, but there are key things that you need to take into consideration. When they say make R the subject of the formula, they are asking you to reach a point where when you solve this particular equation, you are going to end with R equals something this side. So you are trying to make this number or this letter R become the subject of discussion. Let's go for it. S is equal to A plus R over 1 minus R. Now, you have to understand that this S, when written as a fraction, it's S over 1. Here you cross multiply, there you cross multiply. So this will give us 1 times A plus R. You're going to get A plus R is equal to S multiplies by 1 minus R. It's very important that you put the brackets, because the brackets will tell you that everything inside the brackets will be multiplied by S. However, it's a different case where we multiplied 1 times A plus R, because any number or anything multiplied by 1, it's that same thing. No wonder we went just directly. So we move on. A plus R is equal to S times 1, S, minus S times R, S, R. Very, very important. At this point, you need to group the like terms. Now, we group the like terms using the additive inverse. That is a concept that we use. So here we are going to have, first of all, we want to remain with this R. So we need to get rid of the letter A. So we are going to subtract both sides by A, because the additive inverse of A is negative A. So we have A minus A plus R is equal to S minus SR minus A. Okay? Let's move on, because understand that what you do on the left-hand side of the equal sign, you also do on the right-hand side of the equal sign. So from there, we have A minus A, it's 0. And 0 plus R, we remain with R, is equal to S minus SR minus A. Now, you've seen that on the right-hand side, we still have SR or RS, this one here. We still have this one here. So this needs to be eliminated from this side, or it has to come to the left-hand side. Now, you have to understand that these letters, they do not move. You cannot say it is crossing over. No, it's either you are adding or subtracting. So since this is negative SR, we are going to find the additive inverse of negative SR, which is positive SR, so that it gives you 0. This is very key. You need to know this. So this will give us R the additive inverse of SR is plus. It's positive. It's positive. So you say R just say, okay, you say R plus, which is the additive inverse of minus SR, is equal to S minus SR plus SR minus A. This will give you R plus SR is equal to these. They will be eliminated, meaning that minus SR plus SR, you get a 0. So you remain this side with S minus A. Good. So at this point, since this side on the left-hand side of the equation, we have R plus SR. So you need to factorize, meaning you need to find the common factor. You can see that the common factor there between R and SR is R. So we'll take the R outside and open the brackets. What has remained there for us to get R? It's 1 plus. For us to get SR, it's S. Then we have equals S minus A. Good. To find R, we divide through by 1 plus S. Remember, what you do on the left, you also do on the right. So this will give us 1 plus S into 1 plus S, it's 1, and that divides with that. Then we have R is equal to S minus A over 1 plus S, or R equals S minus A over S plus 1. This is your answer. Now we say 1 plus S or S plus 1 because addition is commutative. Thank you. So if you've worked that out, then it means that is how you are supposed to find the subject of the formula. At your spare time, try to go through and check if your answer will be correct. Let's move on. We are moving on to question 5A. And question 5A reads, write 2,736.4 in standard form, correct to 3 significant figures. Write 2,736.4 in standard form, correct to 3 significant figures. Now, how do we write a number in standard form? There is a rule that you have to follow. Numbers in standard form are written in this form. A times 10 to the power n, where the number A is such that 1 is less or equal to A, and this A is less than 10, meaning that this number A should fall between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if it's beyond or if it's above 9, then you have to change its form so that it is less than 10. Let's move on. And the letter n is an integer. We say belongs to integers. And by now, I know that you know that an integer is a positive or negative number, including 0. So in this case, we are trying to see how best we can change this number, because you've seen the number is saying 2,736, meaning that we need to write this number in such a way that it becomes less than 10. So we can only do that by letting this decimal place move. This decimal place moves to the left. 1, 2, 3. So when the decimal place comes between 2 and 7, there you have the number 2, which is greater than 1 but less than 10, meaning that that particular number befits the definition of the A as we've given in that rule there. So 2.2736.4, in standard form it will be 2.7364. Now, before you say multiply by 10, how are you going to know the value of n? The value of n is determined by how many times you move to the left or to the right. Now, when the decimal point moves from the left going to the right direction, its symbol is positive. And when it moves from the right going to the left, it occupies a negative symbol. Let's see. So the point initially was between 6 and 4. Now it is between 2 and 7. In order for us not to change the meaning of the figure, so we are going to see to it that this 10, the point moves the number of times that this number retains the position where the point was in the first place. So we'll see that between 2 and 7, the point has to move 1, like that, 2, 3. So it has to move 3 times to go back where it was. Are you seeing that? Very good. So now, is it moving to the right or to the left? Good. It is moving to the right. And if it is moving to the right, how many steps? It has taken 1, 2, 3 steps. So the n will be 3. And what sign is it going to carry out? It is going to take up the positive sign because you are moving to the right. Therefore, 2736.4 written in standard form is 2.7364 times 10 to the power 3. That is in standard form. Now, the question does not end there. It goes further by saying correct to 3 significant figures. Now, when we are talking about significant figures, we are talking about those numbers which make this value, whose importance cannot be neglected or ignored. Now, when you look at the number 2.7364, there are no zeros there. And in our understanding of significant figures, we know that all non-zeros are significant numbers. So, in this case, all the numbers are significant, but we've been told that we need to write this number correct to 3 significant figures. So, we are going to count. 2 is 1, 2, 3. So, the third significant figure is 3. Now, what happens to 3? Whether it changes or remains the same is determined by the next number, in this case, the 6. So the next number, if the next number is 5 or greater, then it means that you need to add 1 to the previous number. And if the next number is less than 5, meaning if it's 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, you need to leave the previous number the way it was. Let's look at this. 2.73. The first 3 numbers are significant, but what happens to this number 3 is determined by 6. Is 6 greater than 5? Yes, it is. So if it is greater than 5, then it means that we need to add 1 to this number 3. Then our answer will be 2.7. 3 plus 1, it will give us 4 times 10 to the power 3. So this is your final answer. This clearly tells you that the number 2736.4 has been written in standard form correct to 3 significant figures as 2.74 times 10 to the power 3, and that is your answer. Good. We move on to the next question. And the next question here is question 5b. And question 5b reads, solve the equation. Solve the equation 3, open brackets, 2 minus y equals y minus 14. Solve the equation 3, open brackets, 2 minus y, close brackets, equals y minus 14. This particular question, you need to solve it by using two concepts, namely expansion and simplification. So we start by expanding. 3 times 2 gives us 6. 6 times negative y, it gives us negative 3y, which is equal to y minus 14. At this stage, since we are solving and we are solving for y, we need to ensure that we find the value of y. And how are we going to do that? The first step is to get rid or to eliminate this 6 by the process or by the concept known as additive inverse. Meaning that in this case, we need to find a number which when we subtract from 6, it gives us 0. What number is that? 6 minus 6. Very good. So we say 6 minus 3y is equal to y minus 14. Now, since on the left side we subtracted 6, also on the right hand side we need to subtract 6. There. So we have 6 minus 6, it is 0. 0 minus 3y, it is minus 3y equal to y. Now we have negative 14. Negative 14 minus 6. Now we are dealing with integers with the same sign. Now when you are dealing with integers of the same sign, it's as good as adding them and maintaining the sign that they are holding. So here we have 14 plus 6, which will give us 20. And what sign do these integers have? The sign is negative, as we can see. There is negative, there is negative. So it will be negative 20 or y minus 20. Very good. Let's move on. So we need to get rid of this y from this side. So this will give us, using the additive inverse, we'll have negative 3y. The additive inverse of y is minus y, is equal to y minus 20. So that this gives us minus 3y minus y. This will give us minus 4y is equal to 0 minus 20, it is negative 20. Good. Now we want to find the value of y. So we have to divide through by negative 4. Very good. Negative 4. Negative 4. So when we divide there, we find y is equal to negative divided by negative, it is positive. 4 into 20, it's 5. Therefore, your answer or the equation being solved gives y is equal to 5. So the value of y in that particular equation is 5. How was that? Interesting, right? We move on to the next question. And this is question 5C. Question 5C reads, the diagram below shows a cylinder with diameter 7 centimeter and height 10 centimeter. Then in brackets we are told, take pi as 22/7. So we have a cylinder. Here is a cylinder that we've been given. That cylinder, we are told that the diameter is 7 centimeter and the height is 10 centimeter. Calculate its volume. Now, how do we calculate volume? Volume of a cylinder is calculated as base area times height. Now, from there you can see that the base of this cylinder is a circle whose diameter is 7 centimeter. Now, how do you calculate the area of a circle? So your volume is equal to, the area of a circle is calculated by pi r squared. That is the formula that you use, times height. Now, do we have the radius? In the question, we do not have. But from the knowledge that we've acquired up to now, we know how to calculate the radius. How do we do it? Radius is calculated as half diameter. So if we have the diameter, then we can find the radius. So the radius in this case is 1/2 times 7 centimeter. And this gives us 3.5 centimeters. Very good. So from there now, we have our figures, then we can do the input. Volume is equal to, we are told that we should pick pi as 22/7 times the radius, which is 3.5, as we found there, times, square means multiplying by itself, 3.5 centimeter. And we are told that the height is 10 centimeter. Let's do some basic arithmetic there. We can start by dividing through. So we have 3.5 into 3.5, it goes there one time. 3.5 into 7, it goes there how many times? 2 times, very good. There we are. Then 2 into 2, it goes there one time. 2 into 22, it goes there 11 times. So our volume in this case, we have 1 into 11, we have 11 times here 1 centimeter times 3.5 centimeter times 10 centimeters. This will give us 11 times 1, this will be 11 centimeter, times 3.5 times 10, this is 35 centimeter square. Square centimeter, meaning that centimeter by centimeter, you get square centimeter. Finally, 11 times 35, 11 times 35, you get, let's do it, 35 by 11. You have 1 times 5, 5, 1 times 3, 3, 1 times 5, 5, 1 times 3, 3. This gives you 5, 0, 5 plus 0, you have 5, 3 plus 5, you have 8, 0 plus 3, you have 3. It gives you 385. Now you have centimeter times centimeter. This gives you cubic centimeters. So that is our volume. The volume of that particular cylinder is 385 cubic centimeters. I hope you are following and enjoying this mathematics on MTN Teleschool. Let's move on. We are moving on to question 5D. And question 5D reads, the table below shows the mass of a child over a period of 6 months. There we've been given the months, that is January up to June. Then we are given the mass, which is in kilograms there, as we can see. And question 5D1 is saying, complete the graph below to illustrate this information. Now I have with me this graph, which needs to be completed. Let's get the graph that needs to be completed. Here it is, okay? So we are told that here is a graph that you need to complete. Now, how do you complete it? You complete it by looking at what you've been given in the table. The graph is showing the months, that is from January to June, and also on the y-axis, or yes, on the y-axis or vertical axis, it is showing the mass, which is in kilograms. So we are told that in the month of January, this particular child weighed 12 kilograms. So we are going to look at the month January there. From the horizontal axis, we have January. Then we are going to look at where the marking 12 is. 12 is there. So where there is 12, we are going to put a dot to guide us. So 12 is there. That is the marking for January. So we'll go February. February, it's 8. There it is. Then March, we are told that the child weighed 16 kilograms in March, meaning that this particular child gained in their mass. Then in April, the mass reduced by 2 and it was at 14. So in April, we look for the mark 14 on the vertical axis. So our 14 is there. Our 14 is right there. Good. Then we go to May. May, the mass increased also by 2 and went to 16. So May, we have 16 there. And finally, June, it went to 18. The child had gained very well. Now, after you've identified those points, now you have to join those points. You have to join those points to show exactly how the mass of the child was increasing or decreasing. So this particular concept is used in everyday life, I believe, when children are going for under 5. So you join those, you have that. That doesn't look good enough, okay? There it is. Then you also join there. There. And you also join there. There. And finally, there. So basically that is how you complete that particular graph to show how the mass of the child was in these months that are given. That is your answer for question 5D, where you've been asked to complete the given graph. We go to question 6. Question 6 reads. Question 6 reads. Question 6. Are we going to question 6? That is 5D. Yes, question 6A. So we are on question 6A. Question 6A is saying simplify. Simplify 3 open brackets 2x minus 5 minus 7x plus 19. Here you simplify by using 2 concepts, expansion and the simplification, meaning the grouping of like terms. So we start by expanding. 3 times 2x, you have 6x. 3 times negative 5, you have negative 15. Then there we have minus 7x plus 19. You group the like terms. So you have 6x, then you have this other like term, which is minus 7x. Minus 15, then you have this one plus 19. This will give us 6x minus 7x. What do you get? Negative x. Very good. Negative x it is, because you are subtracting a bigger number from a small one. So the result will maintain the sign of the numerically larger, then you subtract the 2. That is your negative x. Then we have negative 15 plus 19, which gives us positive 4. So that is the simplified form of that given question, question 6A. So far so good. I believe you are enjoying yourselves. At this moment, we are going to take a break and then we'll join you shortly. Catch me on the other side.
Okay, let me know how it goes.
I will. I need to go now.
And don't forget to check up on your brother.
Ziba mami, I will. I really need to go. Nisa chedwa.
And also wish your dad a happy birthday.
Bye. Ish, my mom. She never stops talking, but I'm not complaining because I love our conversations. And MTN's 777 Just For You makes life and communication so much easier. Especially for a student like me, cause sinisebenza just yet. So, with 777 Just For You, I get special discounted data and voice bundles that allow me to do my schoolwork with ease and keep up with the latest trends online. I get to call my family and friends, plus there's also a gift folder. To cut the long story short, I talk more and browse longer. That's my mom. I better video call my dad and brother before class. MTN gives you so much more with 777 Just For You. Enjoy amazing day and night bundles, super fast 4G data bundles, Loko Nilaka, and more. Plus, you also get a special gift from us. Simply dial *777# and select an offer of your choice. Sekelela, we are on your side.
MTN.
Welcome back. I believe by now you've told your friends, your family members, and you are gathered together and we are learning together so that we make the most of this moment. By the time we'll be writing our final exam, we must be ready because the purpose of these revisions are to make us ready. So we ended on question 6A. So we are going to continue with question 6B. And question 6B reads, in the diagram below, Km is equal to ML. So there is a diagram where we are told that this diagram has the following values. Km is equal to ML. And we are told that the angle MKL is equal to 3x minus 65 degrees. And the angle MLK is equal to 2x minus 20 degrees. Find the value of x. How do you find the value of x? Now here you need to take advantage of the properties of the given triangle. What type of a triangle do we have before us? Isosceles triangle. Very good. This is an isosceles triangle in which two sides are equal. Now, if the two sides are equal, and as we've been told that the angles MKL, the angle MKL is equal to the angle MLK. It simply means that you need to equate these two angles. When you equate these two angles, then you can be able to solve for x. That is the only concept that you need to take advantage of. Let's move into the question. So the size of angle MKL is 3x minus 5 is 5 degrees is equal to 2x minus 20 degrees. By now, I believe you have become acquainted with the additive and the additive inverse when it comes to solving equations. So here we need to find the additive inverse of 2x so that we group the like terms. All the x's should be on the same side and all the constants should be on the same side. Let's move. So if you've gotten your concept right, then we are going to have 3x minus 2x is equal to negative 20 degrees. Since we have negative 65 degrees, the additive inverse is positive 65 degrees. There we are. So 3x minus 2x, it gives us x, which is equal to, now, negative 20 degrees plus 65 degrees, the result is going to be positive. Why? Because you have 2 two integers of different signs. And when you are dealing with two integers of different signs, all you have to do is subtract the smaller one from the greater one, then maintain the sign of the numerically larger. So this will give us 65 minus 20 is 45 degrees. And which number is greater between 20 and 65? It is 65. And what sign is 65 carrying? Positive. So this will be positive 45 degrees, not negative. An angle cannot be negative. Therefore, the value of x is 45 degrees. There you are. We move on to question number 6C. Question 6C reads, the figure below shows a triangular prism, PQRSTU. There it is, as you can see from your screen. And we are told to say, given that US is 17 centimeter, PQ is 8 centimeter, QR is 15 centimeter, and SR is equal to 20 centimeter. They are saying now, calculate its total surface area. Now, you need to understand that total surface area, abbreviated as TSA, is nothing but the sum of all the areas of the surfaces in the given diagram. So, look at the diagram again and pick out the surfaces that are in that diagram. So, from the diagram you can see that we have rectangles and triangles. The first rectangle you can pick from the diagram there is rectangle, we say area of rectangle STQR plus the area of rectangle SUPR. I believe you can see it there from the diagram in the question. We are saying the area of rectangle SUPR plus there is another rectangle there, which is PQTU. PQTU. Can you see it there? Yes, it is there. PQUT or PQTU. And then we have also triangle. The area of triangle STU plus also the area of triangle PQR. There it is. So if you can find the areas of each of these surfaces, then you add them together. There is your answer, which is the total surface area. So we'll start by first finding the area of the rectangle STQR. Now, by now, you must have known that given a rectangle which has the length and the breadth, the area is equal to L times B. So the first area there that we have there, the length, or maybe we, in this case would say the length of that particular triangle is 15. As you can see the 15 there on QR, centimeter, times 20, which is on RS. Plus the second one, which is rectangle SUPR. SUPR. SUPR has the length of 20 centimeter times the breadth of 17 centimeter plus the next rectangle, which is PQTU, has a length of 8 centimeter times 20 centimeter, which is TQ, because there from the diagram you can see that TQ is equal to SR. So you have 20 centimeter plus the area of a triangle. Now, area of a triangle is given by half times base times height. In triangle TUS, we have half times, what is the base there? The base TU is equal to PQ, which is 8 centimeter. So you have the base, which is 8, times the height, which is in this case 15 centimeter, because TS rather is equal to QR. Very good. So you have 15 centimeter there, plus the other triangle, which is half, times whose base also is 8 centimeter times 15 centimeter. You don't have to memorize the formula. You just need to identify the surfaces in the figure that is given. So 15 times 20, you are going to have 300 centimeter square centimeter, meaning that when you evaluate that, you have this, plus 20 times 17. Now 2 times 17, it is, what is 2 times 17? 34. Very good, 34. Times 10 there, you have 340 square centimeters, meaning that we've said 20 times 17. Basic arithmetic there, 340 square centimeter, plus 8 centimeter times 20. What is 8 times 20? 8 times 20 will give you 160. Very good. 160 square centimeter, plus what is 8 times 15? Now 8 times 15, you are going to get, or first you can start by dividing. You have 2 there, 1, 2 there, 4. Then you say 4 times 15, it gives you 60 square centimeters. And since those triangles are the same, you have also 60 centimeter square on the other triangle. When you add the areas of all those surfaces, you have your total surface area. There we go. 300 plus 340, it's going to give us 640 square centimeter. Then we have 160 plus 60. It is going to give us plus, this will give us 0. 6 plus 6, 2 carry 1. Then we have 220 square centimeter plus 60 square centimeter, which is this one. When you add them further, you have 640 plus 220, it will give you 860 plus this one, 860 plus 60, it will give you 920 square centimeter. You do not need to use a calculator for these revisions, because in the final exam, you are not required to go with a calculator. You need to use your mental arithmetic. So there is a brief way in which you can be able to manipulate these questions in regards to total surface area. So what is the lesson behind this? For total surface area, you don't need to memorize the formula. All you have to do is identify the faces, then find the area of each of the faces, then add them together. There is your answer. How is it? Very good, right? We move on. We move on to the next question, which is question number 6D. Question number 6D reads, solve the simultaneous equations 3x minus 2y is equal to 13 and 2x plus 3y is equal to 0. Now, when it comes to simultaneous equations, there are about 3 methods that you need to use. Now, in the exam, no one is going to force you. You need to master any of those 3 on your own and tell yourself, when I go into the exam, this is the method that I'm going to use and I'm going to get my answer right. But be very careful, let the question guide you. So there are 3 methods. These methods are namely elimination method, substitution method, and thirdly, graphical method. The choice of a method is up to you, but choose a method which is number 1, faster to you, and number 2, accurate to you, because different people find each of these methods differently. So you pick the one that you would like to use. In this particular case, I choose to use the substitution method. So the substitution method works on one principle. If you can be able to make one of the equations the subject of the formula, then the substitution method is yours. If you can't, go for the elimination method, or otherwise the graphical method. So this is how I intend to move in this particular question. So I have 3x minus 2y is equal to 13. This is equation 1. I will label it as equation 1. Then the second equation that we have is 2x plus 3y. Now in this equation, I'm going to make one variable the subject of the formula. So I choose to make the variable x. So I'll say 2x plus 3y is equal to 0. Using the additive inverse, I'm going to have 2x is equal to negative 3y. Proofread it using additive inverse on your own. Then to find x, I'll divide through by 2. I'll divide through by 2. So that we have x is equal to negative 3 over 2y. Like that. So this will give me, this is my equation 2. This will give me another equation, which is equation 3. So I am going to substitute. This is where now the term substitution comes up. Substitute. I'm going to substitute equation 3 into equation 1. Don't substitute it into equation 2, because you may end up just finding an answer like y equals y or x equals x. So substitute equation 3 into equation 1. So my equation 1 was 3x minus 2y equals 13. That is one caution that you need to take into consideration. And we are told that x is equal to negative 3 over 2y, like that. So where there is x, I'm going to substitute with that one. So I'll say 3, open brackets, negative 3 over 2y, like that, minus 2y is equal to 13. So this is going to give us negative 9 over 2y minus 2y is equal to 13, which is as good as 2 into negative 9, it's negative 4.5y minus 2y is equal to 13. So negative 4.5 minus 2y is going to give you negative 6.5. y, very good, equals 13, right? So to find the value of y, we are going to divide through by negative 6.5. Negative 6.5. So our y then will be equal to negative 6.5. Negative divided by positive, it's negative. 6.5 into 13 is 2. Very good. So our y in this case is negative 2. After finding y, now you can find x by substituting this y into any of the equations, 1 or equation 2. So I choose to pick equation 2, which has 2x plus 3y is equal to 0. Now I've found my y to be negative 2. So I have 2x plus 3, where there is y, I'll put negative 2, is equal to 0. I have then there 2x, positive 3 times negative 2, it's negative 6, is equal to 0. The additive inverse of negative 6 is positive 6. So I will remain with 2x this side is equal to 0 plus 6 is 6. So that to find my x, I divide through by 2, I divide through by 2. And my x there is equal to 3. Therefore, when this simultaneous equation is solved, my value of x is equal to 3, and my value of y is equal to negative 2. You can prove or find the proof of these answers by substituting them into those equations. And I believe you smile. Other than this, don't end on this method. Try out using the elimination method and even the graphical method and prove if these will be your answers. Good. So we move on to question number 7. Question number 7. Now, question number 7, we are told to say, on the x or y plane, there's an x or y plane given there. 7a1 is saying, plot the point P 1, 1, Q 3, 4, and R 5, 1. So, I am just going to make a sketch of that particular x or y plane that we've been given. So here is a sketch, not drawn to scale, but just to show us how we ought to move when it comes to questions of this nature. So in this x or y plane, I have values of x, the 0 there from the origin, then you have 1, you have 2, you have 3, you have 4, you have 5. So we need to move on. We see 6 there. Let's extend the line. Okay, so we have the y there. Then we have our 6 there. So it's saying that then in the x, on the x-axis we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, we have 5, and 6. So there are lines there. There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. Okay. So they are saying plot the points 1, 1 and label the point 1, 1 as P. So let's go to 1, 1. So on the x-axis, look at where the value of 1 is on the x-axis. So here is my 1, and on the y-axis there is 1. So 1, 1 would be there. So this would be my point P. Okay? Then you go secondary to the point 3, 4. So on your x-axis, look for the point 3. 3 is there, and on the y-axis where 3 and 4 meet, it's right there. So this is the point Q, 3, 4. Then you move on to the next point, which is 5, 1. So 5 is on the x-axis. So you go on the x-axis there, that is your 5. Then you look at where 1 is. 5 and 1, they meet there. So this is the point 5, 1, and this is my R. So those are the points. That's how you are supposed to plot them. So in plotting them, you just have to understand the coordinates x, y. Meaning that if you have a point 5, 1, then it simply means that on the x-axis, look for 5. Then on the y-axis, look for 1. And there it is. That is our 1. Then 2 is saying join the points to form triangle PQR. Now, joining the points is the easiest thing, but don't be careless in the exam. Join the points using a ruler. It's important that your work is neat. So you use a ruler to join those given points. So we'll join them using the color blue. Yeah, there we are. So you join P to Q. There it is. A straight line, then from Q to R, from Q to R, and finally from P to R. From P to R. There it is. Make sure your lines are smooth. And once you do that, you earn yourself that 1 mark that they have given there. So, furthermore now they are saying that on your graph, on your x or y plane, that is number 3. So this is number 2. This is 7, 2. So 7A3, they are saying draw the graph x is equal to 6. So the graph of x is equal to 6. This is a line which cuts the x-axis, meaning that on the x-axis, find where 6 is. So 6, let me use a different color there. I'll put it with probably purple. Yeah. So I will even use something like this. So 6 is here. So we are saying, draw the graph of x equals 6. Now, the graph of x equals 6 is a straight line. So after identifying the 6 value on the x-axis, just get a ruler and draw a straight line. So here's my ruler, and then the equation or the graph of x equals 6 there. So this is now the graph of x is equal to 6. There it is, as simple as that. So all you have to do is have yourself a ruler, identify where that graph is passing. In this case, we are told that it's passing at x equals 6. So on the x-axis, pick the 6 mark, get your ruler, and draw a straight line. So that is basically what you have to do. That is it for question number 7A. And that is the summary of that question. So we move on to question number 7B. Question number 7B. I hope and trust that so far we are learning something, and that something is helping us to prepare, to make ourselves ready for the final exam. And because of our final exam, that's why MTN Teleschool is here for you, for your friends and for your family. Just engage them and tag along so that we can learn together. Let's move on. Question 7B. And question 7B reads, multiply 130 base 5, 130 base 5 by 21 base 5, giving your answer in base 5. Okay, so when it comes to number bases, you don't need to be confused. All you have to do is to understand what you need to do. So in base 5, we only deal with numbers that are less than 5. These are 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Any number greater than 5, it means that we need to divide 5 into that number and proceed, as I will show you, if there will be any number of that sort. That is the point number 1. The point number 2 that you need to note is that when you are multiplying two number bases, always put the number with the most place values on top, like this. 1, 3, 0, base 5 times 2, 1, base 5. And not 2, 1, base 5 times 1, 3, 0, base 5. This must never be done, this one. This is how you work them out. The one with the most place values is put on top and the next one at the bottom. Good. If you've taken down that point, then let's move. We see how we get to solve. So you do as you be able to, as you would with just ordinary multiplication. So we have 1 times 0, it's 0. 1 times 3, it is 3. 1 times 1, it is 1. Then you move on to the number, to the other digit, which is 2. Now, before you go to 2, you know that here you need to put a 0 for the place value because 2 is just right under 3. So you have 2 times 0, it is 0. 2 times 3, it is 6. Now, in base 5, there is no 6. So what do you have? What do you need to do in that case? You need to divide 5 into 6. So how many 5s are in 6? There is only 1 5 and the remainder 1. Are we together there? Very good. So we say now 2 times 1, it's 2. Plus that 1 that you had carried forward, you have 3. Then there you add. So there you can put a 0 for the place value. Then here you do ordinary addition. 0 plus 0 is 0. 3 plus 0 is 3. 1 plus 1, it is 2. 0 plus 3 is 3. And this number, you can clearly see that there is no number which is 5 or greater. So this is your answer in base 5. There it is. So that is our answer for question number 7b. We move on to question number 7c. Question number 7c reads, given the density D of a stone and its mass m, complete the flow chart below for calculating and displaying its volume. So this particular question is on computers, and they are the easiest part also of mathematics, owing that you just need to understand a few tricks here and there which we are going to learn as we are solving this question. So they are saying complete the flow chart, which is as follows. There is a start there. Start. Then there is a parallelogram shape there. Then there is a rectangular shape there. There is another parallelogram there. So here the key is just to understand what these shapes mean. And finally there is an oval which is saying stop. So we have been asked to complete the flow chart below for calculating volume. Now, how do we calculate volume? Volume, first of all, you need to understand that density D is given as mass over volume. Then from here, we get the formula for calculating volume, which is V is equal to mass over density. So the first shape that you are having there, the parallelogram, is where you say enter. Enter. In this case, you have M. You need to know what your mass is, and you have your D, which is your density. Then in the next box, which is the rectangular box, which signifies a process or processing. So under the processing there, you have volume, which is equal to the mass divided by, you have that, density. Then you move further there to the next shape, which is a parallelogram. You have calculated, you've put the formula for calculating the volume. Then here you say display volume. And after you've displayed volume, you say stop. Basically, that is the only thing that you need to do to complete that particular flowchart. The key to note is the formula for calculating volume, for calculating density, for calculating mass. These must come on your fingertips. We move on to the next question, which is question 8. Question 8A reads, a car in Japan is valued at $4,500. What is its cost in kwacha if the rate of exchange is $1 is equal to 9.8 kwacha? So what is the rate, or what is the cost of the vehicle in kwacha, which is selling at $4,500 in $500 in Japan? So the value for kwacha, we are going to put it as y, or any letter to find what value it is. So this is the use of mathematics in our daily lives, that is in conversion of forex. So how do you go about it? This is how. So since we have $1 is equal to 9.8 and 4,500 is what we need to find. So at this stage we cross multiply. So you have here, since dollar is common, the dollar symbol is common. 1 times y, it is going to give us y, which is equal to 9.8 times 4,500. Y will be equal to 9.8, to simplify my work, I'll say times 10 times 450, because this gives me 4,500. So I'm multiplying by 10 so that I deal with the decimal. So 9.8 times 10, it is 98 kwacha times 450. Then y will be equal to 98 times 450. So you can go with it using basic arithmetic. 450 times 98, like that. You have 8 times 0, it's 0. 8 times 5, it's 40. 0 carry 4. Then you have 8 times 4, it is 32. Plus 4, you have 36. Then 9 times 0, it is 0. 9 times 5, it's 45. 5 carry 4. Then 9 times 4 is 36. Plus 36, we said 9 times 5, 45. We say 5 carry 4. Then we have 9 times 4, 36. 36 plus 4 is 40. So you have yourself there like that. Then from there, you add. They put a 0 for the place value. 0 plus 0, it is 0. 0 plus 0, it is 0. 6 plus 5, it is 11. So you say 1, carry 1. 3 plus 0 is 3 plus 1, it is 4. Then 4 plus 0, it is 4. So that gives us 400, we say 44,000 rather, 100 kwacha. So therefore, $4,500 is equivalent to 44,100 in kwacha. That is how you change those values to what you've been asked to do. As simple as that. So having done that, we move on to question number 8B, which in this particular question is our third from last. So let's look at question 8b. Question 8b is saying, Kalowe is paid at the rate of 32 kwacha per hour for a 40-hour week. If overtime is paid at the rate of time and a half, calculate his wage in a week in which he worked for 45 hours. So this person, Kalowe, is supposed to work only for 40 hours. So if he goes beyond that, then he's in overtime. But how do we calculate overtime from this question? We are told that overtime is calculated as time and a half. What does that mean? It simply means the amount that he's supposed to pay, he's supposed to be paid for the normal working hour plus half of that. That is overtime. So the normal is 32 plus half of 32 kwacha, which is 32 plus half of 32 is 16 kwacha. So overtime rate is at 48 kwacha. Now, the 48 kwacha is not the answer. It's just part of the answer, because we are told to say, calculate his total wage in a week in which he worked for 45 hours. So we need to find now how much it is for him to work this now, because the only extra hours he had was 5 hours. So this will be 48 kwacha times 5, which will give us 5 times 8 is 40, 0 carry 4, 5 times 4 it's 20, plus 4 you have 24. So for 5 hours his rate was at 240 kwacha. That is for overtime. Now let's calculate the normal now. The normal per hour he was getting 32 kwacha times the normal hours, which is 40 hours. We've already found the 5 hours. So here you have 4 times 2, it is 8. 4 times 3, it is 12. So you have 1,280 kwacha in the 40 hours. So the total wage in a week will therefore be 1,280, which is for the 40 hours, plus the overtime, which was in this case 240 kwacha. When you add these two, you are going to get, let's say 1,280 plus 240. Basic arithmetic, 0 plus 0, it's 0. 8 plus 4, it is 12. 2 carry 1. 2 plus 2, it is 4 plus 1, 5. Then we have 1. So you find that you get 1,520 kwacha. This is his total wage for a week. Interesting mathematics in real life. We move on. We move on to question number 8C. Question 8C is saying the frequency table below shows the number of learners in each of the classes 9A, 9B, 9C, and 9D at Mwiinga Secondary School. C1 is saying complete the compound bar chart below to illustrate this information. So there is a bar chart that we are given there, as you can see from the question there. There is a bar chart. I'll try to sketch it so that you can follow how you are to go about it. So here is a bar chart. And on this bar chart, we have on the vertical axis, you have the number of learners. You have the number of learners, and these learners are starting from 5. Then you go to 10, 15, 20, 25, and the last 30. Then on the horizontal axis, you have the classes. So you have the first bar, which is showing there is 15 there. The first bar is like that. And 30 there, as you can see from the screen there. So they are saying this is for 9A. This is for 9A, and then they want you to complete from it. Now, how do you complete this? You complete this by using the table that is given. So for 9A, it has been done for you. So let's go for 9B. So 9B, they are saying it should start from there. Then there we have 9B, like that. So there is a key. It is important that you follow the key that has been given. Now the key is showing that this bar, which is shaded like this, is for boys. And the bar, which is shaded more like zebra crossing, it's for girls. So it simply means that this was indicating boys, and this one here was indicating girls. So 9B, how many boys did we have? We had 20 boys. So you go on the vertical axis, you see where the 20 mark is. The 20 mark is there. So for boys, this bar will reach up to there. There like that. Then for girls, how many girls are there? 25. So you go where there is 25, there. So these bars are like that. So you have 25 there. So boys, it is shaded like that. Girls, like this rather. Like this. So you make sure that you do this with a ruler. You demonstrate your knowledge of it. Then for 9C, we have 9C there. 9C, how many boys? 20 boys. So you go on the 20 mark there. 20 mark there. Then there are 20 boys, 20 girls. There it is. 20 boys, 20 girls. There it is. So here, this is for boys. This is for girls. So for 9C, it was 2020. Let's go to 9D. This is 9D. So in 9D, how many boys were there? In 9D, there were 15 boys. So we go on the 15th mark. There is the 15th mark using our ruler. Okay, there it is. Then how many girls? 25. So we look for the 25 mark. It is there. There. So this is for boys, meaning 15 boys and 25 girls. The ruler as neat as possible. So that is how you complete that bar chart as demonstrated there on your screen. Furthermore, they are in part 2. So this is part 1 of C1. In part 2, they are saying find the value of x. Now, the value of x there, x is on which class? 9A. And it is for the number of boys. So you go on the given compound bar chart that you've been given. So for the boys, you can see that there, the boys on the vertical axis is ending at 15, meaning that there were 15 boys. So therefore, the value of x is equal to 15, because there it's showing 15 boys. As good as that. So basically, this was our mathematics end of year 2019 paper which was written, and we've gone through, and that marks the last question that we have solved. I believe you've learned a thing or two, and this is MTN Teleschool. Thank you for staying with us. Bye-bye.
Tiende pamoja ni mtima umo. 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 Tiende pamoja ni mtima